We are going to be reading some of First Enoch in Greek, in Alexandrian Koine, if you will, in English. A lot of thoughts and misconceptions on Enochian literature, per se. And what always fascinates me is why it's never covered in Greek. So we are going to just do some bits and pieces here, do a little bit of study, see what happens here. So we're going to start it right out of the gate, right out the beginning, 1-1. Logos, eulogias, Enoch, or Enoch. Kathos eulogesten heklektos dikaios oitainis heson tai es hemera hanagekis hexarai. Sorry, I'll flip around here a tad. I marked some miscellaneous. We're just going to read some of the marked. The Lord of the blessing of Enoch, the word, the Logos, the word of the blessing of Enoch, just as he blessed the righteous elect, who will be in the days of calamity, to remove all the enemies, and the righteous will be saved. And the God of the age will tread upon the earth, upon Mount Sinai, will manifest the encampments, so on and so forth, from heavens to heavens. And they all will fear in the watchers. Now, here's the key word. We have watcher. And I got to thinking, what is a watcher? Right? You hear it. And it's egregor. Okay, as we will see. And the watchers will believe. The egregors will believe. So what is an egregor? Okay, so kai phobethe son tai pantas kai pisteu solsen oi egregoroi. So here it's a the egregos, or wakeful. It's the wakeful ones. Those what would be the watchers, which is not really a good translation of egregoroi. It's a nominative plural. Okay. So egregoroi is it's a group of that which is wakeful. Okay. Brings a lot of miscellaneous questions, but that's all right. And that's why we're kind of doing this. And seeing what's what. So, anyways, now it goes on to say miscellaneous that consider all the works, so on and so forth, and then observe all the trees, all the miscellaneous. But we're just going to jump into what happens to the egregor. Here. There is a situation, and I believe we have it remedied. I am sorry for the camera issues. I got a new desk, and I'm working it out. So sorry about that. And whenever the sons of humanity increased in those days, attractive and beautiful daughters were born. And the angels, that is, the sons of heaven, beheld them and desired them. And they said to one another, "Come, let us select for ourselves women from the people, and we will beget for ourselves children." Okay. So, Greek. Let's hop on over there. Kai higeneto ol han eple thun thesan. The huieton anthropon, or the sons of man, huieton anthropon, oi. It's that nominative plural again. Huioi ton anthropon hen hekainais tais hemerais hegenethesan dugatares, the daughters, oraiai kai kalai. You saw that they were beautiful. Kai hethias santo autos oi angeloi huie yorano. So the angeloi, which we would, the angels, but really it's an angeloi is a messenger. And then the huio yorano, or the sons of heaven, the messengers of the sons of heaven. Down. Kai hepe thumes autos kai esten pros halelos dute. Now, we're going to jump up and see where they are going. And then it says, and Simeaz, who was their leader, said to them, "I fear that you will not want to do this deed." So they swore an oath, right? They swore an oath not to turn away until it was finished with this deed. I'm paraphrasing here. Moreover, these were 200 who descended in the days of Jared, right? On the top of Mount Hermainim, and they called the mountain Hermon. Now, what's fascinating is doing a little bit of research in it. This mountain is where the Temple of Baalbek is, or the Roman Temple of Jupiter, many millennium after the Baalbek, of course. And very, very contested over mountain at this point in time. But it says, in the days of Jared, on the top of Mount Herminium, and they called the mountain Hermon, since they swore and cursed one another on it. So this is a curse, right? And an oath. Then it goes through all their names, so on and so forth. And they took for themselves the women. Each of them chose for themselves women, and they began to go unto them and defile themselves among them. And they taught them magic arts and enchantments, root gathering, and explained plans to them. Moreover, the pregnant women brought forth great giants. Okay, giants, the gigantes, right? So we will hop down here. Sorry to be jumping around, but that's just the way it is. Excellent. Oh, sorry about that. So, what happened with our Greek? Hesan de holtoi diako sioi oi katabantes and tais the hemerais Jared, in the days of Jared, eisten korrupsen tol Hermione. The Harry Potter name of Hermione is not a good thing. Hermione. It's cult to the core. Horos kai hekaleusan to ophos. I'm sorry, oros Herman. Kathoti homosan kai anethematiasan. I'm getting used to this type of script here where they do the theta that way. It's really annoying, but hey, that's okay. Halilos ten auton, right? And so what did they do? The kai helabon yautos gunakais hekos autos excellesanto yutos gunaikas. So they went to them and they taught them miscellaneous. What did they teach? They all told the number one right off the bat, pharmakaias, okay, sorcery, magic. If there's any doubt, y'all, that what pharmacy or the pharmaceutical aspect is, I'm not trying to say nothing or preach, but there it is. Pharmakaias. If we want to look even further, pharmakeia, sorcery, magic, magical arts, epiodas, or enchantments, spells, kai rhizotomias, kaitas botanas, botanics, like where we get the word botanica, hidolosan altais, and aedehen gastri, and so they bore labonsai etekosan, or they birthed the gigantes, the giants. Megalos, the large giants, megalos, teknon, tris kelion, oi gigantes, eto luesan, ep autos kai kates diosan, os androtos. Let's pop up here. And they what did the giants do? Well, they devoured the labors of the people. Additionally, when the people were not able to manifest food for them, the giants showed boldness over them, and they devoured the people. They were cannibals. And they began to sin against birds and the beast and the reptiles and the fish, and devour the fleshes of one another, and they were drinking the blood. Then the earth petitioned against the lawless ones. And so on and so forth, and it goes through all miscellaneous. Now, the aspect here, and we will see what happens to the giants later, but the aspect here in the situation is that the concept of egregores are that which gathers because they are summoned and they are called. And without getting to the whole aspect of the line of Cain and so on and so forth, pulling up a mess of theological situation, the best thing to do is look at accounts that are saying, oh, it's the egregores that come to Mount or Hermione, or the mountain of the curse, or the mountain of the oath, where they gain entrance and take the daughters. But the question begs is, in the dominion that Anthropos has, or the man has, it has to be called and it has to be given. That's the occult nature of the situation. And I found an interesting account. It's in the Pseudepigraphica, which is a miscellaneous account. This is of the Testaments of the 12 Patriarchs, 2nd century BC. Unfortunately, I do not have the Greek, but that being said, I think it would be interesting and look at this 2nd century. Oh, when I say 2nd century, we're talking BC. 2nd century BC. Okay. Not AD, BC. And what's fascinating about this is this account is saying what happened with, they're mainly talking about sexual immorality, fornication, sexual promiscuity, so on and so forth, obviously. So guard yourself against sexual promiscuity. You'll remain pure in your mind, yada, yada. But it's fascinating that, and I'll just read it and let you be the judge. Here's the account. Flee from sexual promiscuity and order your wives and your daughters not to adorn their heads and their appearances as to deceive men's sound minds. For it was thus that they charmed the watchers, or the egregores, who were before the flood, as they continued looking at the women who, the egregores, the watchers, they were filled with desire for them. Remember, these are the tugatares ton anthropon. These are the daughters of men, right? And perpetrated the act in their minds. That is so key. Then they were transformed into human males. And while the women were cohabiting with their husbands, they appeared to them, since the women's minds were filled with lust for these apparitions. They gave birth to giants, for the watchers were disclosed to them as being as high as the heavens. Now, the fascinating aspect, why I have this name written down, the Nama, is this is an aspect of in the line of Cain, right? And in the line of Cain, it is interesting to see that it's not too much of a far cry to say that these egregores were summoned, right? Because remember, that's their job. They're the wakeful ones. And according to this 2nd century BC aspect, they were summoned by the daughters of men. In other words, i.e. in occult language, they were conjured. They were conjured by the by the line of Cain, by the line of Cain. Just a thought, just an interesting aspect. I thought that was an absolutely fantastic account. Now, we will go on to see that Michael, Uriel, Raphael, Gabriel, so on and so forth, after peering down, these ones of heaven beheld much blood being poured on the earth. Obviously, the giants were gobbling everything up. The one more aspect that I thought was fantastic when you're looking at the anthropological situation, every account and every myth in every aspect when it comes to the giants or the gigantes, so on and so forth, they're always cannibalistic in nature in one way, shape, or form. But they are, it's a fascinating account. They're either totally abominations or they are relatively benevolent. But in their benevolency, it's a maybe benevolent is the right word. They are worshipped as gods, which I think accounts and attest for the Temple of Baalbek and many other as well. Now, behold, the souls of the ones having died are crying aloud and making a petition as far as the gates of heaven. So those which were eaten and cannibalized were, and then it goes through the whole miscellaneous. I'm paraphrasing here that the Lord, he gives a situation, and we'll see what happens to these giants. Now, and now the giants begotten from the spirits and from flesh are strong spirits over the earth, right? And on the earth their dwelling will be. Evil spirits came out of, or from their bodies, because from the higher ones they were, and from the holy watchers, or the holy wakeful ones, were the beginning of their creation and the beginning of their foundations. I'm sorry for this camera work here. On a side note, this, like I said, I'll fix this here down the road. Evil spirits, they are called the spirits of heaven. Their dwelling will be in heaven, and the spirits who have been begotten upon the earth, their dwelling will be upon the earth, right? And the spirits of the giants are wronging the clouds, destroying and falling and wrestling and hurling upon the earth. I mean, literally just raising Cain, raising chaos, so on and so forth. Unyielding spirits of giants, also making contests and eating nothing but fasting and thirsting and striking against spirits. These spirits will rise up against the children of humanity and against the women, because they have come out from them. This was what the charge against them were. Now, let's turn there. Sorry. 15. Kai nun oi gigantes oi genethentes auto ton penomato kai sarkos penomata iskora hepites ges kai hen ten gente katoi katoi cases auto hestan penomata ponera hexen elthon. Let's get this straight once and for all. Pornera is evil in Greek. That's what it means. In Hebrew it would be ra, but we're kind of straying away from the Hebrew at this point in time. The pornera means exactly what it is. Now, how does an egregore conjure in this day and age? I hope you can see me doing this a lot. Pornera. This is why these egregores are being conjured then and now. Pornera. And anyone that says different, well, you got another thing coming. That's just the way it is. Excelthon apotos somatos auto diote apoten anoteron hegeneto kai henton hagion hegreg. There it is. Egregoron. Right? The watchful ones, egregoron, conjured from the pornera. E archites kitaises, Now we will read, if time lets us, why and how happened to these giants. And so we saw the situation of where, why, and how these miscellaneous watchers, their offsprings, how they were summoned, the connotation of why they were conjured and for what purpose. And we are going to wrap it up here in this one aspect of Enoch. I can't find that other one where okay, in the time of the angels were, this is God's promise to Noah. And at this time, the angels are working with wood, making an ark. And when it is completed, I shall place my hands upon it and protect it, and the seed of life shall arise from it. It's very important. The seed of life, so the spermatonzoe, shall arise from it. And a substitute generation will come so that the earth will not remain empty without inhabitants. Why a substitute generation? Because the earth is polluted with the sperm of Cain. And the raising of Noah is the seed that begets Christ, because Christ is the new seed. In Greek, the prototokos, right? The first. The generation will come upon the earth, will not remain empty without inhabitants. I shall strengthen your seed before me forever and ever, as well as the seeds of those who dwell with you. I shall not put it on trial on the face of the earth, but it shall be blessed and multiply on the face of the earth in the name of the Lord, Kyrios. And this aspect and why we are reading this and why we are talking about this is because it's absolutely phenomenal to read this in aspect. Here we have the oath has become dominant over them, and they are preserved by it. The huietoanthropon, the sons of men, the Adam and his seed, and it and their paths are preserved by it, and so that their courses to travel do not perish. Then there came to them a great joy, and they blessed, glorified, and extolled the Lord on account of the fact that the name of that huietoanthropos, that Son of Man, who, Christ, was revealed to them, and shall never pass away or perish from before the face of the earth. But those who have led the world astray shall be bound in chains, and their ruinous congregation shall be imprisoned. All their deeds shall vanish from before the face of the earth. Thenceforth nothing that is corruptible shall be found. For the Son of Man, the huietoanthropon, has appeared and has seated himself upon the throne of glory. And all porneia shall disappear from before his face, and shall go and tell to the huietoanthropon, the Son of Man. This is why Christ always said, why he always called himself the huietoanthropon. Now there's one aspect in Daniel in the Old Testament where it says this, but here's the thing, the huietoanthropon, and this is why I think the book of Enoch was actually written before the Evangelion or the Genesis, because it's all over the place. Huie to anthropon, and Christ always says he is Huie to anthropon, the Son of Man, right? And he shall be strong before the Lord of the spirits, the Kyrie Pneumatos, or Pneuma. Here ends the third parable of Enoch. So, who is this? Kyrie Jesu Christe. Kyrie Jesu Christe. Anyways, that was a lot of fun, and we are going to stop it there. Let's just call this part 1 of our adventures in the land of Enoch, in the land of giants. Fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Okay, until then.